What's up? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Thank you. So here I have a couple of images from Mcfarlane Toys official today. The first one that's up here is Scarecrow from Infinite Frontier. And I have to say, this is something that a lot of people are very excited about. I didn't know much about this version of Scarecrow before I had seen it leaked a couple of months ago. And when I first seen the image, I said to myself, that is going to be absolutely brilliant looking, particularly because he has these kind of Freddy Krueger-like hands, something maybe even akin to the Arkham Knight Scarecrow, where he had these kind of Freddy Krueger claws that were also serving as his toxin to give to Batman. I do very much so like the Scarecrow face that is also tuned in here with the gas mask. I think that is very cool. And as you can see here, the long hair and the straw hat. This looks indeed like a very busy figure, a very cool figure. And indeed, I think when it comes to Mcfarlane Toys in the DC multiverse, he's given a lot of new molds for these characters with slight reusage in some of them. But also I think when you're looking at them, then it's a brand new silhouette nearly every time, and I think that that's a fantastic thing. My one criticism would be this: I would love to see soft goods on these figures instead of rubber overlays like this. For example, there, the recent Hush figure that came out with a rubber overlay just didn't do it for me, and was something that I actually passed on, because what Mcfarlane did as a cost cutting measure, I'm sure, was decided to give kind of half of a figure because some of it wasn't exposed due to the coat being closed. Now that's clever business practice, but ultimately then when you're seeing that and the articulation on it isn't too hot, it's a bit disappointing. So that's why I would like to see soft goods, but I know from a business point of view it's probably much easier to do the rubber overlays, and indeed it does give him the ability then to have less parts for the figures. But I think it's nice. I think the colours are nice. I think it stands out very well. I think it'd be a fine addition to the collection. The next one that's up got me really excited, which is Static Shock here from New 52. Static Shock has been a very popular character, and certainly with people like me that grew up with the likes of the Batman the Animated Series and the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, and then Static Shock's own cartoon series, which people absolutely loved and adored. A lot of people are suggesting that they don't like the head sculpt and they don't like the specific costume that's on show here. What I would say is Mcfarlane does like New 52, and he does like to do gold labels, so I would suggest that I think you might see a new head sculpt and maybe a different paint application, and you may get something closer to the animated series. Now you might very well not, and he might do an alternate head sculpt or an alternate paint scheme, and that would be something maybe closer to what you fancy. But I do like this. I think it gives off another good silhouette. I think the colours are very vibrant. I think it will stand well on a shelf, and I think it will stand out on a shelf also. I had to say one thing about the DC from Mcfarlane line is it's quite colourful and it stands out very nicely, and given the fact that he likes to use new body molds for different characters, I think it gives a very big array of body types that are within the DC multiverse, which is something that I find personally lacking in the likes of Marvel Legends. I still think Todd has a way to go when it comes to the likes of articulation and some of the accessories that he's adding, but I think he's getting better. And I think even as well too with the rubber nappy that I've always called it, I think that that's even getting better with the way he's hiding it. I think the articulation here and the torso looks quite good. Once it's able to bend forward, that's going to be a big plus for me, because that's something that some of his figures haven't been able to do. But I do like the fact that he's listened to that feedback. It's also going to come with a base, that a standard DC base, and then it's also going to come with a base then that Static flies around on. Now some people I know will be griping about that and say, well, this is a character that flies, how come it's not coming with a flight stand and the stand then that Static can stand on? I know Mcfarlane's way of dealing with it is going to be, well, you have other flight stands from other people, so if you want to use those, you can use those instead. It's something I'm currently doing with my Martian Manhunter. That is a character that I absolutely love, is a character that I would always envisage as being a flying character, so I'm using a flight stand with him from somebody else. It's not ideal, but to keep the prices at what Mcfarlane is keeping them at, I think is quite impressive, given the fact that you're seeing Marvel Legends that are getting over the €30 mark here now in Ireland, whereas the Mcfarlane Toys figures are actually staying in and around the €20 to €25 mark, which I think is very good, and I think in the long run it's going to be better for Mcfarlane. If you have a 7-inch figure that comes with a couple of accessories, new body mold, bright colours, looks cool, I'm going to pick that up over the Marvel Legend every day. That's just my opinion. Some people might be serious Marvel Legends collectors, and that's fine. But at this moment in time, I'm seeing way more value and more bang for the buck in the DC multiverse line. And by and large, I will admit, of course, I have a biased opinion there because I prefer the DC characters to the Marvel characters by and large. This is another one that's very interesting, and it's a Superman from the DC Future State Worlds of War. So this is what's been affectionately known online as the Leonidas Superman. And as I said in the comments here as well, I think the legs look too long. That's my one gripe that is with this figure here. You're seeing a very long leg here, a very long muscle, and it's not very accurate to human anatomy in my opinion. Now, someone might say, well, that would be accurate given the length of the arms and the torso, and it's exaggerated because it's a superhero body. Sure, but it just looks off, and the way that they have this even posed with the axe going across the leg, I think is to take away from those legs looking very long. Now this could be some reuse as well, because Mcfarlane is able to do reuse with some of the parts and molds that he has already, which is fine. This is to be expected, but I think it just looks a little bit too long there. So from his hip down to his foot just looks way too long in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Ultimately though, I think the sculpt looks great. I like that grit and teeth of Superman. I'm not sure if this is doing one of these kind of side-eyed expressions. If it is, I think a lot of people, myself included, aren't fans of that. The gritted mouth and eyes straight ahead are fine. You can leave it at that there. I'd be very impressed and happy with that. Superman's coming with a shield here. He's obviously coming with this axe too. I do hope it comes with swappable hands that are fists too, because I think Superman always needs fists. And I haven't read this DC Future State, so I don't exactly know what the story is with relation to this Superman outfit. It looks like he's in chains. It looks kind of gladiatorial, which is why some are calling him Leonidas Superman online, which I think is fine as well, given the shield. It's very Sparta-esque. So I think this is another one where I do have a couple of issues with it, in particular the legs. But I think overall, I think when people are looking at it and saying, well, this is a $20 figure, it's a €25 figure, that's something to buy. And I think it does look cool. Ultimately, again, like I said, I'm giving small criticisms towards this, but it's a fairly stellar looking figure, and there's nothing else like this out in the market, in my opinion, especially of Superman like this. I haven't seen Superman look like this before, and I think that that's what Todd is aiming for, which is, I haven't read this story, but it is a cool looking Superman with an axe and a shield, and then he's coming with the cape and the S down over the chest. I think it looks pretty cool. That's the way I would look at it. And again, to quote Todd McFarlane, looks pretty cool. You know, super cool, as he would say. With Static Shock over here, I really like him. I think out of the bunch there that I'm probably most excited about Static Shock, Scarecrow is probably a close second, and then Superman being third there. So maybe this is an all new wave that he has coming out. Wonder if there's going to be a Build-A-Figure with this. I would say probably not. I'd say they're all going to be single figures, but this is definitely the figure that's grabbed my attention the most. It's a character that I really like. I think the colours really popular. I like the electrical effects that are coming with him. The sunglasses I think look really cool, and it's just going to stand out. I think it stands out very well, even though Scarecrow and Superman will obviously stand out as well in their own rights with their accessories and their silhouettes that they're having. Static Shock is just a character that I really enjoy. Anyway, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads. Check out the links posted down in the description below. Let me know what you think about these figures. Are these figures you're going to buy? What do you think of the McFarlane DC multiverse? Do you think they're improving with every wave that's being released? Or are there some figures here that you're even seeing that you're seeing the same problems as me, like for example with the Superman legs, and is that keeping you away from the brand at the moment? Or have you been someone that has recently bought in to this brand? Because I know a lot of people now that have suddenly jumped ship, particularly from Marvel Legends into DC Multiverse, because of the fact that they like collecting first and foremost, and then secondly they like collecting superheroes, and they like the array of body molds that are being given here in the DC Multiverse, and it's being kept at this moment in time at a fairly reasonable price, given the fact that these are 7-inch figures too. It definitely looks more appealing than the 6-inch Marvel Legends line now at this stage. Let me know in the comments. Talk to you later.